You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. When the lady sings, that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show has been coming here for 1,700 episodes in 16 years. And, we're just looking to live another 20 or something. We're like 18 years on YouTube, which is really weird. We're almost at 20. So we're just getting there. We just got to avoid getting run over by buses. So anyway, guys, we have an amazing young lady in the show. We're going to be talking about her book collection. And some of the stuff she's written is just amazing and astounding. Over 40 books. We're going to get into her. But in the meantime, you need to further show your family, friends, and relatives real quick. Send them a DM and say, I'm cutting off out of the will unless you subscribe to the Chris Voss Show podcast, and you'll never see a dime from me unless you hit that button now. No, don't do that. That's not nice. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, Facebook.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, all those crazy places on the internet. Our amazing guest that we have today is Lisa Noel Babbage. She is also a doctor. She's got a PhD, so she's really smart, which I don't, and I'm really dumb. Her book is called The Courts of Heaven for Beginners, Challenging Fears That Hinder. And we're going to get into it with her and all of her good stuff. Find out her insights. Find out how maybe you can make your life better, because I've seen some of you out there, and you need all the help you can get, including me. Lisa Noel Babbage is an international best-selling author, educator, and vice president of the Christian Institute of Public Theology. She has overcome cancer twice, a brain tumor, poverty, and homelessness, as well as childhood sexual abuse. She has authored more than 30 books in hopes of helping others overcome Christian struggles. She is a mother and a grandmother. Welcome to the show, Lisa. How are you?
I am fabulous, Chris. Who could not be fabulous after that great introduction?
Fabulous, darling. Fabulous. And
Fabulous.
Can I throw in there, you're up for Teacher of the Year? Can we throw that
Yes,
in the
you can. Yeah, positive vibes, people. Positive vibes.
Well, congratulations. Teachers
Thank you.
teachers hold the world in the future in the palm of their hands or something. I don't know.
Yes,
Something
or
like that.
in their desk drawer or something like that.
There's just right next to the ruler. No, I'm just
Right
kidding.
next to the ruler.
You're not a nun, so but you could be maybe.
And I did go to Catholic school, so there you go.
Oh, did you really? So you
I
got
did.
that reference, didn't you?
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
I did.
I like to tease the nuns, and they like to hit me. No, I'm just kidding. They're not that bad. I'm sure nuns are nice people too. So Lisa, give us a .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs?
LisaNoelBabbage.com, but pretty much if you type in my full name on the internet, you're going to connect to me in ways you didn't want to. So LisaNoelBabbage.com. So normal social media, contact.
What's going on with your internet there? If people are finding things.
Well, I mean that in jest. It's funny because,
okay.
Google will say, based on whatever's trending in the algorithm, that you are this person. So I've been a teacher, I've been a politician, I've been an advocate. I go back to being a teacher, just depending on what's trending. So that's what I mean.
So you're really confusing Google. Google's like, we don't know what she's doing this week. She's got another book coming out again. How many books? I said 30, and I think we talked prior to the show about 40. I was just reading your bio.
Yeah.
List. So how many books do you have total?
I mean, honestly, I don't count. If you, I stopped counting about 25, but if you look at the different versions, I know it's upwards of 65, and I'm working on 5 more right now. So I'm not done. I'm just getting started.
Well, let's get into the overview of this book, The Courts of Heaven for Beginners. When did you tell us about this book? Give us an overview, if you would.
All of your listeners, many of them at least, have been in that unfortunate circumstance of having to defend themselves in court, wondering if the pleas that they were making, the decisions, were really going to work out in their best interest. And there's a population of Christian believers that are in that same boat, spiritually speaking. They are
Mhm.
trying to defend themselves in the courts of heaven when we have a much more competent advocate in Jesus. And that's
Mm.
really what this book is about. But the idea started after I had a health scare. And so that's really the
Mhm.
catalyst behind digging deeper into my relationship with God in order to
Mhm.
find some healing.
Tell us about this health scare. Give us the lowdown on what happened to you.
So it's crazy because maybe 15, 20 years ago, I had cancer.
Mm.
And so, as I was writing this book, and I'd been cancer free for many, many years.
Mhm.
And right before the inspiration to write this book, I found myself in the emergency room and
Mhm.
they found a spot on my lungs. And
Mm.
so, that spot on my lungs, that unexpected trip to the ER, is really
Mhm.
what started this book, Courts of Heaven.
Mm. Mm. Now, this is your second bout with cancer then?
It would have been.
What
Yes,
Yeah.
it would have been, yeah, depending on how you, look at the outcome, but absolutely, and that's a very scary place. You know, anyone
Yeah.
who's experienced cancer, that
Mhm.
idea that you're living cancer-free, you're in remission, you're going about your life, and then all of a sudden, you know,
Yeah.
something comes back up. And this would have been a different form of cancer for me, so I was really shaken.
Mm.
Um, the cancer I'd previously had was taken care of via surgery. This
Mhm.
particular cancer, I was told, well, the spot initially, I was told that
Mhm.
if it had been a centimeter larger, they would have taken me into emergency surgery.
Wow.
So that was the difference between, having my chest cavity cut open and having 30 days to kind of
Oh.
seek God, get a second opinion, go through all the hoops that we go through when we receive a diagnosis and come out on the other side without truly any medical intervention whatsoever.
Wow. There you
Yeah.
go. So you didn't end up getting surgery on it then, huh?
I did not. I did
No?
not.
What came
Instead, I
of it?
had a miracle. I had a
Uh-huh.
miracle instead. It's funny because when I originally, again, not going to the ER for this spot, it just happened to be discovered as I was there. And in the 30 days of responding to that treatment and going to specialists or whatever, a mass was found on my kidneys as well. So this would have been
Oh
potentially
my.
lung cancer and potentially kidney cancer at the same time. So I'm going back and forth. This was about a 3-month period of time being monitored, trying to have the doctors decide what was really truly going to be done. And I had a 30-day deadline on that lung surgery. And over the course of that 30 days to 3 months before my final appointment, found that there was no need for surgery.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
I
So it
know.
wasn't that big of a deal, huh? Did they do a
Well,
biopsy on it?
no, because what happened is that the mass on my kidneys vanished
Mm.
and the spot in my lung shrank to
Oh,
a
wow.
manageable size. So there was nothing to biop. There
Wow.
was no further treatment, except the fact that I can go back in a year and just check and make sure that spot is kosher. But yeah, I mean, it's a bona fide miracle, and
Yeah.
this is not my first. So a lot of what I have written. You mentioned one of my first books was 333 Miracles. It is all about the healing process that can supernaturally take place.
Yeah.
And so that was truly the catalyst for me writing the way that I have been writing.
Mhm. Now so you feel that God had a hand in that then? I just wanna
Yes,
clarify,
yes,
make
I
sure
do.
we
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, when I say supernatural, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got a one of my testimonies. I had a brain stone slash brain tumor in
Mm.
2015, and one of those that testimony is on YouTube in a video form, and it shows the scan before and the scan after.
Wow.
So when I'm talking about the hand of God connecting with mankind, like at the Sistine Chapel, this is what happened in my case.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, you talk in the book about how the courts of heaven, challenging fears that hinder. What's the depth of this? Is this for trying to prepare me for when I meet the big maker? I get run over by that bus and I meet the big
Absolutely
maker.
not.
And oh, okay.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. And it's funny that you say that because I threw in the for beginners caveat to kind of,
Mm-hmm.
take away the mystery because the title itself is, in left field if you're not familiar with those kinds of things. And I feel like I kind of stepped out on a limb a little bit, even with calling the book what I did. But it is for the right here and now. So I would say, like, if you are a follower of Christ, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
believer, if you're not a believer, I have a little introduction for you. So basically, any Joe Schmo can pick this book up and dig deeper into the spiritual realm and kind of find what they need. The subtitle about fear, though, is one of the main reasons why I wrote this book. Aside
Mm-hmm.
from the miracle I experienced, I just lived a life with a lot of fear, as
Mm-hmm.
you talked about in the bio. And
Mm-hmm.
so, fears can keep us in a box. We know this
Mm-hmm.
in the physical realm. Well, it does the same in the spiritual realm.
Mm. I live in a
Yeah.
box. I'm afraid to leave. It's one of those refrigerator boxes down by the river in a van or something.
I get
All
that
that joke.
reference as well. I love that guy. I can't remember his name right now. Chris, right?
Chris Farley, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
brilliant.
When we were in COVID, I said I lived in a box because as a teacher, we were on Zoom and we are all in these
Oh,
little
that's right.
boxes.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
yeah.
temporarily lived in a box. Yeah.
That was the
Not,
Brady. No, no, that wasn't the Brady. Well, you could call it the
oh
Brady
yes,
Bunch, or you
yes.
could call it the what was it? Hollywood Squares. It's kind of
Hollywood
like Hollywood
Squares. We
Squares.
are old. We are
Yeah,
old.
aren't we though? I right now the Gen Z is going, what the hell are they talking about? Google it, kids. At least you know how to do that, I think. It's real sus, whatever that
Yeah,
means.
Sus
Uh
is actually outdated now, but yeah,
is it
no
is it
cap,
outdated? I
no
just
cap.
barely learned it last week.
No, the new one is no cap.
Oh yeah, I think I know the no cap. That means
Yeah,
for real
not
or like
lying.
no
Yeah,
not
yeah,
lying.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
something to that effect. I
My
mean, who
Gen
can
Z
keep
ne-
up though?
my next Gen Z, my next my Gen Z nephew, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
is he always does this thing where video game where he says, "Listen, I'm not lying this time." And then he'll tell you something. You're like, "So were you lying all the other times?" Like and he'll always clarify something like that. Like, "I'm not even lying to you, but this is the thing." And you're like, "So this is the time you're telling the truth? That means the other times were a lie?" Like, how can we keep clarifying that there's certain things that are truthful? You know what I
They
mean?
really the way they process information, it's very out there. It's very otherworldly.
That's okay.
Because yeah, some of their little taglines, I'm like, what? Didn't it mean something else last week?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
I
hard
think
to
that
keep up.
means I should choke you out, son. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that, folks. That's illegal and assault.
No
And the
whammies.
judge says I can't do it anymore. That's why I have 6 ankle bracelets. But people set me sometimes. No, I don't be that way, folks. I get one off next week though. So anyway, I should have AI draw a picture of like 6 ankle bracelets. Have you ever seen anybody who has more than one ankle bracelet on? I think I've seen people that have
I
two.
have not, but at some point it becomes a knee bracelet. It's no longer an
That's
ankle
true, probably.
bracelet, I
It's,
think.
it's like a whole thigh going
Right.
on there, a thigh piece. Well, you collect them. You get some on your hands and arms, and then you got some on your legs. You got like a whole fashion statement going on there.
I think that was a thing in our
Yeah.
history. Like, wasn't it Iron Maiden, something to that effect?
Oh,
Anyway,
that's right, Iron Maiden. Yeah, I was a big fan. There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Boy, we are old, aren't we?
We,
And we're at
we really
least like
are.
29 or something.
Well,
So
not quite as old as God, so he's got us beat.
if he's 29, he's doing pretty good. He looks well. Heck, he's got a 50-year-old beard though, because he's got a beard like me or something. I don't know that, and evidently he's white. So, I'm really so is Jesus. I'm not sure how that worked out in the Middle East, but that's another story. So, what is
Yes,
the
that is.
message of modern miracles that's so important for this church age that you feel writing in this book?
Well, I think that people, we talked about COVID, so definitely post-COVID, I've seen this, but in America, in the Western world, we see a lot of people who are just on the precipice of giving up or losing it. The stress, the
Mhm.
various
You've
things
been
that
on
are happening in
Twitter,
our
haven't
economy.
you?
Not lately. I have to keep my blood pressure down.
They're losing it
But
over there.
but people are losing it in general. People are
Yeah.
losing it in general, and a lot of good people are compromising because of the extenuating stress. And so what I want people to know is that there is in biblical terms a ram in the bush. There is an
Hmm.
outlet. I think we're in a really a judicial moment in the Western world, and of course I don't want to eliminate anyone by that that statement, but I do think people who have an established knowledge of God, even if it's, hey, is he white? Is he whatever? Even if it's that vague, I think they are more opportune to take advantage of the miracles that are available to us. But truly, this is for anyone.
Yeah, maybe he's rainbow colored because then he loves everybody or something. I don't know. I'm just having fun, folks. We're just doing jokes on the show. Don't write me. How was it that you overcame in your past make way for your continued authorship of books like this one?
It's truly a therapy, so to speak.
It's a
But
therapy. I
honestly,
love it.
it is a therapy. But anyone who's been through the crap I've been through, you
Hmm.
either, continue that victim
Yeah.
reality, you
Hmm.
become a perpetrator yourself, or you do what
Hmm.
I have tried to do over the last 20 years, and that is pull other people out of the muck and the mire. And the easiest way for me to do it is the written word. I'm not truly a speaker. I prefer just to say, here, read it. But they go together nowadays because people don't read like they used to. But
Oh yeah.
it's truly just to help people who find themselves in situations like ones I have been in.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
you grew up with a lot of childhood trauma, it sounds like from the bio that we
Hmm.
did. When did
Hmm.
you have this epiphany of going from victimhood to empowering yourself, and what was the onus of that? There might be some people out there that is still doing victimhood, and we kind of live in a victimhood competition culture of
We
like I'm
absolutely
gonna
do.
be a bigger victim than you, and I'm not saying that maybe some people are, some people aren't. It's not really a competition.
Hmm.
So when did you have that epiphany moment, maybe that
Well, I'll add that it's not even a place to stay. But before giving you the
Mhm,
epiphany, which happened much later in life, I want to say
mhm,
that the seeds for that epiphany were planted even at the earliest age. For example, I was raised in a government housing project.
mhm,
Many people today don't even know what that means. But it's basically inner city. You are living on government subsidies. You're eating that funky cheese. You don't
funky
really pay
cheese.
your bills because you have no money. And, it's a lot of poverty and crime. And so living in an environment like that, our opportunities, the idea that you could make something of yourself had to
Mhm,
be brought in from the outside because you could not see it around you. And something that my mother always did is on a Sunday afternoon, she would take us to a fancy neighborhood on the other side of the tracks. And
really?
she would point at a mansion and she would say, you could have that one day if you want it. And
Wow.
so that idea that something else was outside of my community, that was truly the seed of not being a victim. Now, it
Yeah.
all had to come full force with counseling and, growing
Mhm,
up and getting out of the ghetto and lots of decisions. But I truly believe that the icing on the cake was spread during COVID when I had all this free time.
yeah.
At that point, I'd already written several books. I'd already done the things in life that we do to be a sustainable member of society, and it wasn't quite enough for me to feel fully whole.
Mhm.
But during COVID, you're sitting around with your family trapped in the house. You have a tendency to either kill each other or you make some things happen, right? And so
Kill each
that was
other,
it for
write
me.
books. Kill each other, write books. Uh, can we do both? Because that's kind of how I like to roll on Fridays around here on the Chris
Yeah,
Voss
yeah,
Show.
yeah. Yeah. Slash one page
There you
slash.
go. There will be blood.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, COVID was a great time for clarity.
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't a great time for anything else, but we had so many people that we've had on the show. It was great for book writing. So
Hmm.
many people got time to write books, and I think they discovered themselves and they
Yeah.
discover what was important to them. I did. I mean, I remember, yeah, I've been all these years of my life chasing, getting rich, successful, trying to money and buy
Mhm.
things and buy crap and stupid crap that doesn't matter really in the grand scheme of things. And then it made me realize that I would still have all that crap, but my family or people that I love could be taken away in a heartbeat. And
Yeah.
I couldn't even hold their hand on their deathbed. I couldn't
Right.
even, at first they weren't even sure if we could go to funerals, like E. coli is an E. coli or Ebola. You can't even go to people's funeral because if you touch their
Right.
skin, it can pass. But, we didn't know. It was just nobody knew anything. It was just crazy. But yeah, a lot of clarity came from that. I mean, my clarity was I realized I love my family and
Yeah.
my friends, and even we're a bunch of masculine dudes, all my friends. we started saying "I love you" at the end of every call, and it wasn't like that kind of like "I love you." Maybe I gave that impression when I said that, but it was kind of like just like, "Hey, you're my best friend. I value you, and I may never see you again." You just never knew. You could hang up with somebody and they'd be gone.
Exactly. I mean,
And
honestly, COVID was either fabulous or it was horrible. And, you
Mhm.
find yourself saying, I love you to the person who dropped off your Uber Eats order, because it was
Yeah,
desperate for a moment.
amen.
So,
We're, we're
yeah,
we're trying in humanity. We're all trying to stick together. There you
exactly.
go. We all got this one piece. How do you believe the church has forgotten some of the principles that you teach in the book, specifically when it comes to addressing fear?
Unfortunately, I love my church. Let's say this. Not unfortunately, I love my church, but unfortunately, dot, dot, dot. I love my church, but unfortunately, most churches do not even entertain the idea of miracles anymore.
Hmm.
They look at it like the remote control or the black and white television as if it's obsolete, which truly it should be an integral part of our lives. And, there have been historical moves documented around the world. I've had my own personal experiences, but I think if the church would actually get over itself a bit, if religion in general would get over itself a bit and
Mhm.
understand that everything that is written in the Word of God is still true today, it's not out of date, it didn't expire, it's not old fashioned, then we could come back to a time when people wouldn't be at each other's throats for the simplest things. I mean, you wouldn't see, at least I believe and I'm hopeful that you wouldn't see some of the heinousness that has come even in America lately.
What? 2026? I thought everything was fine. I mean, I there's nothing on the news that says it's just blue sky and yeah, there's a couple things going on. But if you're
What do you
watching
think?
this, if you're watching this from your under the city basement abodes with a Terminator AI is walk on above you, shooting everything that moves. Well, you can enjoy.
Yeah, and don't come out yet if you are. If you're in the bunker, don't come
Don't
out
come
yet.
on. I've watched all the movies. I've seen how they end, so
Right.
it's never good. Uh, so, has there been a hero or confidant you've drawn strength from, or maybe someone you wrote about in your books?
My grandfather, my paternal grandfather was truly a hero to me. There is lots of
Hmm.
great people out there, but when you have someone close to you, that is that person that completes your puzzle. He was truly that for me. As I said, like being in a housing project, being homeless many times, having the abuse and then the responses to abuse that people often choose, having that steady
Hmm.
figure in my life. I mean, he passed when I was in eighth grade, but even the memory of him has held
Hmm.
me quite a bit. This is a great story, if I can.
Please.
My grandfather's Australian. He's a priest, and he is a professor as well, college professor. He heard in about Martin Luther King, and so he decided to come to Georgia to supposedly help because in his native Australia, there was still a law against Black people coming to the country.
What?
The year that I was conceived, so not being able to, you said that in a very high pitch.
I'm shocked. I have lots
Yeah,
of friends from Australia, and I mean,
yeah.
I know they sent. I mean, well, they
The
built
lost
Australia,
generation
but
of Aborigines you're
yeah,
thinking of?
well, no, they just sent England sent like all of their worst people to
Right,
Australia. Like
right.
they have standards
Well, here's what's
where
funny.
they're
So
like
my
they're trying to have standards. Like no, we can't have certain people here. Why?
they're
You
they're
guys are
still
a prison
British.
island.
They're still British. You got to remember that. That high
Ah, okay,
T does not
okay.
escape. So my
Explains the
great
T.
grandfather came because he was an embezzler, went to New
Ah,
Zealand, had my grandfather, went
hmm,
back to England, and
hmm.
then when my grandfather left the military, he decided to settle in Australia.
Oh,
But I think he's kind of cut from a different cloth a little bit than your
oh,
typical Australian because he was truly impassioned about how racism was, shaping the narrative. And this was even in the 70s. So he heard
hmm.
of this guy, Martin Luther King. It's apropos that we're talking about him on
Yeah.
his day. But he decided to come to Georgia with his four sons.
Hmm.
And he went to an all Black church in Decatur, Georgia, and
Wow.
became the vicar there.
Hmm.
And then, long story short, his second son, my father, met my mother at Georgia State University in the library.
Wow. Wow.
So they were one of, I think they were the fifth interracial marriage in Georgia when it became legal.
That must have been a bit of a challenge, maybe.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
there was we have a little group that used to be kind of popular in the South called the KKK, and they definitely chased my father.
Did they chase him all the way to the White House? Because evidently,
No, they did not. He ran west.
oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
so they must have ran east. But yeah, that was a tough time. Did you walk with Martin Luther King on some of the things
My
they did
my
marches?
grandfather did work with him. I can't say necessarily like a march, but they did a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things together. They integrated the cathedral, the Episcopal Cathedral in Atlanta, one of the lakes, the Boy Scouts, two colleges. They were busy.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of made it his life mission. He was here for 10 years. It was the mission field for him. And then he
Wow.
went back to Australia. But just, having that unction to go around the world
Yeah.
for some black people, that was kind of his decision. It's I like it. I like it.
It's Martin Luther King. I like. That's like he inspired a lot of people. He motivated a lot of people. He was a great visionary and a warrior and
Mhm.
brave. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Courageous.
but a lot of people think something happening on the other side of the world, that's their problem.
Yeah.
So I still find that to be a courageous. Yeah, Martin
Yeah.
Luther King is great, but at the time that my grandfather heard of him, it was just the beginning
Yeah.
of that movement. And so it takes multiple people to tango sometimes.
There you go. It
Yeah,
takes a village, as they say. You know,
right.
Martin Luther King probably might have been okay if he would have hired that Crocodile Dundee guy as his bodyguard or something. I don't know. Just jokes, folks. We respect Martin Luther King. And Crocodile Dundee with that
And
knife.
Crocodile Dundee.
Scene with the knife where he goes, "Now that's a knife," and you're
Yeah.
just like, the guy goes, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I never mess with anybody who's wearing crocodile skin. That's my
Or
policy.
alligator or snake. I kind of
Or
stay away
alligator,
from all
snake. I
three.
just
Yeah.
leave anyone named Snake. What was that
There
movie
you
with
go.
Kurt Russell? So
I was thinking of Skid Row guitarist. So
oh
very
yes, yeah. They're very good guitarists too. Yeah, there you
yeah.
go, Skid Row. And so what do you want the readers of your book, The Courts of Heaven, to walk away with empowered?
I just really want people to shed fears as much as
Mm,
possible. And so, what I want them to understand is that God, according to scripture, God has gone ahead of us, making crooked ways straight. It's us that kind of deviates to the left and right and, fouls things up and circles that mountain one more time. And many of those decisions that we make are based in fear. And what I found in this going through the cancer scare and coming out on the other side, I found that, if I truly looked to God and kind of shed or put aside my fears and my power and what I was thinking, the answer, the path is very straight. It's very smooth, and I
mm,
think we have an accountability. We as humans have an accountability that we have not picked up in quite a while, and that's for our vision. Whatever we're supposed to be doing in life, the reason why we're here. You've figured something out. That's why you have this show. But many people are kind of just stuck in a rut. And again, fear is the reason why you don't step out and do whatever you're supposed to do. And God has a blueprint for all of us, I think.
mm.
And it would be a lot simpler if we followed his advice instead of our own. So, in a nutshell, that's it.
Really? So the principles you lay out in the book is that the formula, or is there a formula that's in the book specifically?
Um, I don't like to use the word formula, but that's the
Oh,
formula. You
okay.
know
I'm
what?
just going off the PR questions.
Yeah, I really found that
I'm cheating.
no, you're good. Take notes. Take notes,
There you go.
kids. I really found that it's much simpler than we've made it.
Oh,
When I went over like the bird's eye view of this book, I talked about the courts. There's a reason why I used the word court. And we
hmm,
all know what court is like. There's so many similarities to a man-made court as in the courts of heaven.
hmm,
The benefit I believe that we have is that if we're asking according to God's purposes. And it's pretty easy to figure out what that is because he wrote a book about it. He gave us the manual. But if we're doing that, the answer, the judgment's always going to be in our favor. And that's what people don't, pardon my French, but people don't have the balls to ask for what God has already promised them. And that's what we need to do. We need to get off our duff and stop being so afraid to be successful.
Get
I'm
off
preaching
your
to
duff,
myself.
people.
I'm preaching to myself right now.
There you go. I think that should be your next book. Get off your duff, people. I like that. I mean, I'd read that book. I'd be like,
You'd read that book? Okay.
She's clearly made this for me because I'm a procrastinator. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh God, yeah.
Part of it's ADHD. I don't think it's real procrastination. It's ADHD. I just find something else to do, and then something else, and then something else. Squirrel. So there you go. How do you suggest that church folk engage corporately in the kind of spiritual warfare you practice personally? I'm not sure what that means, so you'll have to
Well,
me.
I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it like your clique. You were saying that during COVID, you started telling your bros, "I love you" at the end of a call. You strengthen that village around you. A church is a village. And many times people don't know who's sitting on the same row. They don't have any connect, they're just showing up at the same place, the same time. They're going home. They've made no connection. And unfortunately, it's like that in some classrooms. But what we really need to start doing is taking that extra step, like you did with your friends during COVID, and just making sure that that bond is cemented. My mother and I pray every day, and we started saying at the end of our prayer that people bound to us by covenant, contract, grace, and blood succeed or know themselves better or know God better, whatever that focus happens to be for the day. And there are people who engage in the same activity and have for years, and they have no connection to these people. They're just breathing the same air. And so, as that's what I mean by corporately. The church, whatever your church is, St. Anne, St. Mary, whatever the case may be, are you guys actually connected, or do you just have a membership card in this social club? Which is it?
Yeah.
Because there's power in numbers.
Yeah. A lot of people really got disconnected from their social clubs and their just everything over COVID too. It's really weird. I host a lot of singles events and trying to get people out to singles, and we have like 5,000 singles. They're all evidently, from their claim, desperately single and want to meet somebody. And yet we can only get like 50 to 100 people out at any given event. And I talk to people like, why aren't you coming out? And they're like, well, we're afraid to meet people. I'm like, you go to 7-Eleven. I'm like, you don't go to 7-Eleven and you're not worried about going to 7-Eleven or the gas station or the store. The place is filled with strangers, at least with our thing, that they're kind of qualified as good people. But and so just people just don't want to come out. I've got friends that own bars. They're like, man, we're just trying to get people to just come out and hang out after COVID. It's hard.
Well, that's what I mean by challenging fears. Fears are hindering us. That's a perfect example. But the fear doesn't really have anything to do with COVID anymore. It's kind of like we've gotten ourselves in this hamster wheel, and now we're afraid to commit. We're afraid to be embarrassed, canceled. We're afraid to succeed. Whatever the case may be, we've kind of gotten ourselves in this little virtual reality hamster wheel in our mind, and it has nothing to do with health, really. Unless you're talking about mental health. We've got some issues as a species.
I've been on Twitter. We like to use that. I've seen
good snort. I like that snort.
Yeah. I used to have I used to own a modeling agency, one of my companies back in the years, and one of the gals was this beautiful model. She was like 20, and when she would laugh, she would snort like really bad, like I don't know if she had some sort of septum issue or something, but we would make her laugh just because it was just
to see it.
It was just to see it. And it was, I've never seen anybody have this problem in my life where just every time they laugh, it was just 100% snorting. So anyway,
well, that's how you know God has a sense of humor, because he doesn't give many people the full package. You've got to have some kind of news.
And as beautiful as she was, it was very unattractive. Like she would just lose all of her beauty right away. And you're like, wow, that really sucks. I mean, but it's kind of like me. I have all this beauty, but I don't snort. So God definitely blessed me or something. I don't know.
6'7", 6'7".
Clearly making up something. What is that? Is that one of those things the Gen Zers are into? The 6'7" thing.
Yes,
What does that
yes.
mean?
It kind of means like this or that, or it doesn't matter.
Oh, is that
But
what it means?
yeah, but in my class, we were changing it to 8'9" because that's when I
Oh,
graduated from high school. So we're doing
oh,
8'9".
okay.
Yeah, no, it's totally
I'm
silly.
so confused by these kids. Get off my lawn, you kids. I thought it was a variation of 69. I'm not going to explain that joke. So
Well, to be
anyway,
honest with you, there was a rumor that it has another meaning, but I'm
yeah,
giving you the Plutonic
you're
one.
giving, you're giving us the one we can post on social media.
Exactly,
There you
exactly.
go. There will be no diagrams, folks.
Yeah.
You can do that yourself. So anyway, as we go out, give people your final pitch out to order up the books. Anything we missed that you want to plug to over here?
Yeah, so I just want to say, folks, wherever you are on the so-called spiritual slash religious spectrum, there is an enemy out there, and he has a right to delay you. He has a right to hinder you. He has a right to bind you, but you have a superseding right. So
Hmm?
I would say if you feel stuck in any way, shape, or form, then you need to pick up a copy of The Courts of Heaven for Beginners, and you need to go with an open mind because I really hope that everyone can succeed in
Hmm?
whatever it is that God's called them to. I will say you can still go to lisanoelbabbage.com and probably see some out of date videos on me, or look for me on Amazon, as you said, on my author page, or just put my name in Google, and you will find all the goodies. And keep living, people, keep living.
Keep living. Don't live in fear. Yeah, you should make a next book, a follow up to this one called "The Courts of Heaven for Advanced Users," maybe, or experts. See,
Someone actually said that to me, and I don't know if I'm qualified if I ever become
well,
advanced.
you wrote the beginner book. You should be at the next level. So
Yeah, I
tell us what
don't
it's
know if
like.
I don't know if it works that way. That's one of
Yeah.
the fears that I have. I don't want to call myself an expert or authority. I can do the
Okay.
freshman level. I can do freshman
You're
level all day
freshman.
long.
Maybe you should do a book for people like me called "The Courts of Hell for Beginners." Anyway.
I do have a book on hell that I'm working on, so I will
You
definitely
really?
let you know.
You
Yeah.
really? Yeah, yeah.
It's called
So
Misery.
it's called Misery, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
And this is about
yeah.
marriage? No, I'm just kidding. We're doing marriage callback jokes on the show. I'm just
Yeah,
teasing.
this is my nod to Stephen King. No, yeah, it's about hell.
Do your legs get broken on it by some crazy lady in the hills or something? Wasn't that the one, Misery?
Yeah, that is the one, and we
Yeah,
can never disrespect Kathy Bates.
we
But
can.
yeah,
But that
yeah,
was
we
pretty
love her.
mean when she did to
That was
James Caan.
crazy.
That
That
was
was
bad.
crazy.
That was painful to watch. That still gives me the
Yeah,
heebie-jeebies just
I
thinking
know, I know. You just kind of close your
about
eyes.
it. But if I ever meet one of my book fans and like, I'm a real fan, I'm gonna be like,
Run,
run,
run
get
for your
out of
life.
here. And I'm not going on any snowy roads. Well,
Well,
thank you very
in
much.
Georgia, we have this thing. If you hear that banjo music playing in the background, you run for your
Oh,
life.
that's my favorite deliverance movie jokes. That's my
Yes,
favorite. My friends in
yes,
Georgia and Arkansas hate the hell out of me because
right.
anytime I can pull that "you got to part of mouth boy" reference, they just go, "Yeah, seriously, we have electricity now, Chris." I'm like,
We
really?
do. We have
That's
indoor plumbing.
amazing. It's amazing. Now, if you can just get away from your sister or your cousin. No, I'm just
Right,
teasing.
right.
It's not 1970 anymore.
No,
So there you go. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. It's been very fun, Lisa. And congratulations.
thank
I hope
you.
you're nominated to win Teacher of the Year. So I hope that you make that wonderful thing. And
Thank
do they give
you.
you like a wrestling belt, like a boxing, like
We
Muhammad
get
Ali
we
would
get
have
one
that?
of those wrestling rings. We get one of like the
Oh,
Super
you
Bowl
do.
rings. Yeah.
Isn't the wrestling ring though your teacher's classroom?
Yes, it is. You've seen it. You've been there? I don't recall you.
Boxing. My mom was a teacher for 20 years. I've heard all the stories. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been there when people come up to her and they're like, "Oh, I'm Mrs. Voss. I remember you. You're my teacher, and oh, you changed my life, and you were so
Yeah.
wonderful." Blah, blah. My mom's just standing there with this look on her face, and then after she'll be like, "That was the worst kid of the class. I can't believe that he lived." Anyway,
Well,
so
that proves that your mom is a good teacher because all
yeah,
good teachers respond the same way to that worst kid in the class. Sometimes
yeah.
they become our favorite.
I just
My
threw
favorite worst kid.
the favorite worst kid, but it's great
Yeah.
that teachers can change those lives. So hope you get the award there. And
Thank
Lisa,
you.
thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks so much for tuning in. Order up our book where fine books are sold. All of our books, just fill the cart and hit send. The Courts of Heaven for Beginners, Challenging Fears That Hinder, and check out her other 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 books. If you're watching this 5 years from now, there's probably 10 more. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.